Hi, hello, and welcome to Cinema Express. My name is Venkat Srikar, and this is a look at how Laal Singh Chaddha fares in comparison to the original film Forrest Gump. So, by now, you know that the Advait Chandan directorial is an official remake of Robert Zemeckis' 1994 film Forrest Gump, and to be honest, it's quite a faithful retelling. Considering that America's culture and political climate were integral to the original film story, the makers of the Hindi film have replaced them with events of significance from India's recent history in order to, set the story in our milieu. In other words, they cannot be considered changes. For instance, the unrest that prevailed in the northern parts of the country post the assassination of Indira Gandhi in 1984 and its impact on the titular character as a child is an addition in the remake, but I felt it was largely in tune to the core idea of the original, which is a man's progression along with the changing times. So, these additions are purely attempts to localize the story. They are not exactly changes, I repeat. The points that we will be discussing now are more inclined towards narrative choices. And these differ from the original, although on an overarching level, they fit into the overall scheme of things. Please do not note this as a nitpicking or an analytical exercise, but simply as an observation on how certain simple writing choices can influence storytelling. To begin with, the bus stop is a setting, is the central setting in Forrest Gump, where Tom Hanks's character shares his story with the bypassers. Laal Singh Chaddha, however, moves this central setting to a train, which, in addition to bringing the film closer to home, I felt it clearly serves as a metaphor for Lal's journey, one that's filled with forging new relationships and waving goodbyes to them midway. And tell me, what's a better symbol than a train to propagate this message? In the original, Forrest's commanding officer during his Vietnam tour, Lieutenant Dan Taylor, he is portrayed as a man hailing from this is in quotes, Forrest says this, a long, great military tradition. It is also comically addressed that family members of Dan had served and died in every American war. In the remake, however, this backstory is applied to Lal, and Dan's arc is incorporated in the form of another character, and it's told from a different perspective. And that character is the terrorist Muhammad, whom Lal refers to as Muhammad Paji. In the original, Lieutenant Dan believes that it is his destiny to die on the battleground with honor. When Dan is grievously injured in a shootout in Vietnam, Forrest disobeys his orders to let go of him in the middle of the attack, and he ends up saving him with the rest of the platoon. Dan, however, ends up losing both of his legs, and he begrudges Forrest for not letting him reach his destiny. In the remake, like I said, Dan is replaced with a terrorist, Muhammad, whom Lal ends up saving in the chaos of Kargil war. And unlike Dan, Muhammad doesn't necessarily hold that deep grudge against Lal, and the two eventually become partners, just like in the original. Muhammad gradually moves towards realization and is eventually given a redemption when it is implied on a rather broader context. It is said that he leaves to Pakistan and to teach the importance of compassion to the upcoming generations. Dan's arc in the original, however, was more personal. It explored the trauma of the person and how he eventually makes peace with his life towards the end of the film. And now, coming to the mother's character, in the original, when Forrest is denied admission to a public school due to his low IQ, his mother, Mrs. Gump, played by the amazing Sally Field, sleeps with the principal to get her son into the school. In the Hindi version, however, this angle is dealt with a pinch of sentimentality, with the mother, played by Mona Singh here, offering to double up as a domestic help and cook for the school's principal. The man, the principal, he's quick to understand the lengths the mother is willing to go to ensure that her son gets a proper education, and he grants him admission. This change seems to have emanated from the need to keep the film family friendly. Speaking more of this family-friendly nature, in the original, Forrest experiences his first moment of physical intimacy with Jenny when she learns from him that he has never been physically close to a woman. This is another angle that has been left out in the remake. Once again, like I said, due to the family-friendly tone, they had to keep intact. While Laal is consistently vocal about his feelings for Rupa, played by Kareena Kapoor, their relationship remains purely platonic for the most part, devoid of any sexual implications. Post the Vietnam War, Forrest's exceptional ping pong skills propel him to national fame. He receives advertisement offers, he is invited on popular late night shows and whatnot. This is where I felt Forrest's journey grows larger than life. The Hindi version, however, it completely eliminated the character's newfound love with the game, and his quick succession to glory, his quick rise to glory is also avoided. The post-war sequences of Laal Singh Chaddha remain largely grounded when Laal Singh is made the assistant coach of the army's running team. Obviously, Laal had to run his way to fame years later. Now, while Rupa's arc is quite identical to Jenny's, the aspirations that drive these characters are a little bit different. Jenny wants to be famous while Rupa chases money. The moments that define the genesis of their respective desires are also pretty clearly spelled out. Jenny runs away from her father and prays to God to turn her into a bird. She yearns for freedom. Rupa, on the other hand, prays to God to make her rich when her mother is beaten to death by her father for 10 rupees. The hippie lifestyle of 60s America is here replaced with the dark side of Bollywood that's often portrayed in films. Her abusive relationship with a partner who's portrayed here as a criminal, and the litigious aftermath after his caught bear a resemblance to the highly sensationalized Monica Bedi and Abu Salim case. When Rupa comes back to Laal after the relationship, she indirectly suggests to Laal that the criminal implications won't let her lead a peaceful life. I felt this choice kind of was done with an intention to render Rupa more helpless and portray her in a more sympathetic light. So yeah, that's it. These were some observations, some comparisons, or some tiny differences that I could spot in Laal Singh Chaddha. If you think there are more, kindly do let us know in the comments, and do let us know how you liked the film. This is Venkat Srikar signing off. See you soon with more videos. Thank you.